Lincoln Bane went down to Spanish Wells today. Lincoln Bane went to Blake Pinder's property. Now, anybody who's been keeping up with TMI should have an idea of who Blake Pinder is, because we interviewed Blake Pinder on several occasions. As a matter of fact, we ended up in court with Blake Pinder over a particular matter. But Blake Pinder became sort of popular because the PLP, when they were doing the raid of the shanty towns and shutting and tearing them down in North Eleuthera and Blackville, what's that place? Black something. Blackwood. In Blackwood, they ended up going to Blake's place. They had marked his place as for demolition as well. But they never did demolish his place because we exposed the real reason behind why they were pushing him. And so clearly those backed off. You know, it is what it is. Now, Blake has rental homes that he constructed there. Now, they are a bit close together, as Lincoln said in the video. That is true. But they've been like that from time. Everybody who rents from Blake's place has to have their documents. Blake's place was being used by the residents of Spanish Wells who brought in Haitian workers and did not have a place for them to stay. They didn't allow them to just build. Well, you had some who sent them over to Blackwood, so they're building all kinds of things over there. But for those persons who were being legitimate, they would actually go to Blake, and Blake would rent to those persons once they had their proper documentation. So not just Haitians would come to Blake to rent. It would be persons who had sponsored them or arranged for them to be here who would actually carry them to Blake so that Blake could rent to them. You understand what I'm saying? So that they wouldn't be about building shanty towns in their neighborhood. Now, Blake has a better system of checks and balance than the Department of Immigration, because immigration don't check to make sure these people have a place to live. The Department of Labor don't check to make sure that people have the place to live. They're just giving them with permit without making sure that the persons who are sponsoring these people are provided a place for them to reside. And hence the shantytown situation, because it is a problem that has been cultivated by the government through neglect and failure and irresponsibility. Lincoln gone down there and humiliate his own supporter, because Blake is a COI supporter who is doing his best, and he makes his money through the little rent that he gains from there. Because let me tell you Blake's story. That rent is his income, because the sergeant down there went around telling persons not to hire Blake. He even told Blake's own family members not to hire him. And when they did, they harassed them for hiring them. So Blake had no way of getting an income other than that same property that his dad gave to him, with many of those same buildings that were there from that time. That's his income. But Lincoln Bane, who was supposed to have done his research, who should have spoken to his own man on the ground, Blake, before he got on that damn camera, went down there and made a fool of himself. And I'm not saying that stuff ain't gonna happen. Just there's a little drop in the bucket. They're gonna learn from this, and he wouldn't mess with that again. When you go to somebody neighborhood, you don't go there acting stupid. When you meet a man in his place, you call him Mister. Going down there running around with a bunch of foolishness. And I heard his recovery on the